Hello everyone, the Kentucky Patriot here, out on the range. Beautiful day. It's January, it's cold, but the sun's out, and we're out here today with the Browning Ammunition X-Point Defense in 40 Smith & Wesson 180 grain. The advertised velocity at the muzzle is 1,025, so nickel-plated brass shell case. This is X-Point technology. If I can come in here just a little bit, maybe she can see this. This is supposedly the results. And if you'll see right here, it looks like what I'm going to assume is an X, but it's almost like a T or a cross shape, but it's probably an X in the hollow point cavity of this round. Now, the rest of it looks like your typical, Hornady, whatever the case may be, or other self-defense rounds. But the hollow point in this cavity, though, instead of an XTF tip or just a plain hollow point cavity, has that what appears to be an X. So pretty neat. I just came across this when we were in Tennessee back around Christmas there at the Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and I have never shot this round. I've never tested this round. I've never seen anybody else test this round, so I was pretty excited about this round. So we're going to get to some shooting and test it out, and we're going to set up like we normally do if you watch this channel, with the water jugs, the meat target, and the denim, as always. But instead of having a bunch of water jugs lined up, this time of year it gets colder and you get wet, and it's harder to get water jugs out here in the wintertime, fill them up, and you know how it is when it's cold. We took a page out of Paul Harrell's book, and we're going to use some fleece to hopefully stop the bullet and recover it and see how this performs. We're also going to compare it to some other defense rounds, hopefully today, and see how it does compared to some other rounds in the same gun, the same caliber. My test gun today will be the Smith & Wesson Shield, and I kind of like to use a smaller barrel gun to test these rounds a lot of times for concealed carry purposes, or whatever the case may be, because I think that's more standard of what people's going to carry. It's a little bit shorter barrel than what I carry. I carry the M&P compact, but if you get pretty good results and you extend the barrel, you're just going to extend a little bit of your velocity and stuff. But anyway, so on the high fleece tech fleece bullet stop, like I said, from Paul Harrell, we'll take a page out of his book, and if you're here, it's probably because of Paul Harrell. So I just want to say thank you. If you don't know who Paul Harrell is, make sure you check out his channel. He's got a huge channel, probably one of the best, if not the best, channels on YouTube, and he was kind enough to let me do a video with him. He's given me several shout outs, and I can't tell you how much I thank you and appreciate it, Mr. Harrell. So anyway, we're going to get to some shooting. We can put a little bit of dye in the water jug. Some of you have asked about that, recommended that. So we put a little bit of blue dye in the water jug today. We've got some pork ribs, denim, some fleece. Let's get to some shooting and see how this round performs. Now, typically, I shoot a lot closer up because I feel like in a concealed carry situation, the distance is going to be rather close. But like I said, where it's winter time, it's January, it's cold, I just don't want meat and water splatter all over me. In the summertime, when you're shooting big bore and you get a mist and a water spray, it's fun. When it's 30 degrees in January, the mist isn't quite so fun. So that's why I'm shooting a little bit further back than normal. But here we are, Browning X-Point. Let's see what you got. Okay, knock the meat off the table. We see a normal entry hole here. There's the hole in the back. There's the hole, looks like coming in. 2 layers of denim. Hole in, hole out. We have 2 layers of denim on the front, 2 layers of denim on the back. The meat target on the back looks like it's got a pretty decent sized hole there. I see a little bit of fragmentation here. Looks like a little bit of the jacket. Here's the 2 layers of denim in the back. Hole in, hole out. Here's the water jug. I see no bullet. The fleece looks like we have an entry hole, and I feel it. I absolutely feel it. If she wants to zoom in here, we've got this big woolly blanket. It's probably not actually quite like Paul Harrell's. These are old sheets that we were no longer going to use, and some dog blankets that our dogs. All right, got some denim, got some material here. Want to be honest, you've got a little bit of expansion, but it's not really uniform. And then we've got some uneven pieces here, fragmentation from the jacket separation there. Maybe it's still intact, but not quite what the picture showed. And I know that you, if you've watched this channel, you've heard me say many times, I'm just a small channel, not endorsed by anybody. No company's paying me to advertise, so this is just an independent channel with independent testing. So we're going to set the same thing up again, try it, and see if we can duplicate these results with the same round, same gun, same target, same everything. And again, even though I'm back a little further than normal, when you're talking yards, it's going to make a difference. But really, if I'm up 10 or 15 feet either way, it's really not going to make much difference in the performance of a bullet in a home defense EDC situation. But anyway, here we are. I'm going to try it again. Same setup, just a different water jug, different pieces of meat. We turned the denim around so I can't hit in the same spot. Turn the bullet fleece stop around. So let's try it and see what happens. That was weird, and maybe it was just me. We'll go back and watch it on camera. Of course, you'll be able to see it as well. Just from my perception, it was weird, but it looked like it hit harder that time. So, you know, we'll see how the bullet did, how it performed. But there's the both shots each time, first and second shot, same result. We look at the rib, missed bones, went in between. You see a hole in, hole out, nothing, just normal 40 caliber holes. But it looked like to me that it hit this jug harder, and it looked like it hit the fleece bullet stop harder. And like I said, that just me behind the gun, it's hard to say for sure. But there it is. As we look here, same thing. There's the denim. We use the same piece of denim. We just turned them where I wouldn't shoot in the same place. But it looks, you know, typical hole in, hole out, 40 caliber round. The meat target here. Again, I missed any bone. It went right through the meat, of course. Not much resistance, a little bit of meat. And let's see what happened here. I feel the bullet again. Okay, so it went about the same distance, so whether it hit harder or not, I can't be certain. Didn't go very far. As you can see, I'm pulling it out through the front. Didn't go very far. Now, it looks like we got a little more even expansion this time. It carried some denim with it. Certainly not terrible performance, but it's not perfectly even. I don't know if that matters to you, but you can see where the jacket's peeled all the way back here. It certainly did expand. There's no doubt about that. I'm not saying that it did terrible. A lot of velocity hitting, but you know, even if you shoot with a full metal jacket, you're going to get a lot of velocity hitting if you're using a 40 caliber. But there it is. Now what I'm going to do is set everything up the same. Use the same fleece, same, you know, I'm going to get more meat targets, just get a different jug, and everything's going to be the same. But this time I'm going to try some Hornady Critical Defense, and let me see how it performs, and we'll do a side-by-side comparison, so to speak. Now this is the Hornady 165 grain Critical Defense. Everything else, target-wise, just the same. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's see here. We used the same denim, but we turned it every time so I wouldn't hit the same spot. So, you know, 340 caliber holes in and out. Looks like the jug was hit with more force. It looks like it hit it pretty hard. But let's see the meat here. You see the meat, pretty good size hole. Did not hit bone again. Somehow I keep missing the bone. Denim. Looks like it did carry some meat through with it this time. The hole in the back absolutely destroyed this bone here. So I did hit bone, looks like this time. Looks like I did hit bone. And then let's see what happened with the fleece target. I hit lower this time. And the bullet stopped about the same place. It stopped just about the same place as the Browning X Defense bullet. Hang on right there so you can look at that. I'm going to grab this other bullet and do a side-by-side comparison. Here is the side-by-side comparison. I'm going to shoot it one more time. This time I'm going to use the Ranger T-Series 40 Smith & Wesson and do the same thing. Do a comparison of all three, and then you can be the judge. I will take that back. This is the Winchester Ranger Law Enforcement Ammunition 40 Smith & Wesson 180 grain. I've always called it the Ranger T-Series, and I have seen T-Series. This, after I said it, looked at the box, don't know if it matters to you, but nowhere on this box anywhere does it say Ranger T-Series. So anyway, this is just Winchester Law Enforcement Ranger 180 grain and 40 Smith & Wesson. Let's see how she performs. Winchester Ranger, let's see how she performs. Okay, hit the tape, hole in, hole out, typical 40 fashion. Piece of meat here. I think it missed the bone. I thought it hit the bone, but I don't think it did. I think it went right through the meat there, no bone. I went ahead and brought these rounds while I'm coming this way for side-by-side comparison, but these are rounds from earlier. Hole in, hole out. Now, you can see the water jug, of course, crushed all the pieces. Thanks for falling and making a mess on me. See the rib on the back. Again, went in between ribs. I don't know how in the world I keep missing ribs. And you can see we turned this every time, so it's not hitting in the same spot. And look at here. I mean, it was literally right here, so there was no fleece penetration really whatsoever. Got a bunch of goo with it. really like this round. Now, speaking of Paul Harrell, he did some testing with these rounds, and they perform great in 40 caliber. If you have these same rounds in 9mm, which I do not, I only have them in 40. Paul Harrell tested these, and they did not perform like this in 9. They perform, every time I've ever tested them, fabulous in 40, not so well in 9. And these are like the black talon. I don't know if you can see these little sharp petals, but those are really cool. So here's the Ranger series. Here is the Hornady. Here are the Browning X rounds. And I'm going to turn them different ways, different shapes, because somebody's going to say, why didn't you turn it this way? And I know people say, you talk too much, but there's no other way for me to explain what I'm shooting, the grain, the barrel length, the gun, the ammunition, the targets, without talking. That's how I communicate. So, you know, it's not just, I do enjoy exploding water jugs and hitting meat targets, but I kind of want to explain what I'm doing as we go. So again, the Hornady, the Ranger, and then your Browning. We appreciate you watching. It doesn't matter to me what rounds you carry, but whatever round you carry, you want to know how they perform. Do they perform consistently? And then you want to also know, do they feed? Are they reliable? Do they work well in my gun? So this is just a demonstration. This is just me on the range having fun. But please, whatever carry round you decide on, know its limitations, know its expectations, and make sure you check and that it does run well in your firearm, because when you're talking EDC and you need your gun, your life could very well depend on the round and the gun you choose. May God bless you. We wish yours and yours the very best. Do me a huge favor, like, share, and subscribe. It means so much to me. Your subscription to this channel means so much. And check us out on Instagram, Facebook. We wish you and yours the very best. May God bless you. The Kentucky Patriot, signing off.